back, everybody, to The Creative Moment, Season 10, Episode 5. No interviews today, sorry about that. But if you haven't, definitely go check out our last episode with Chris Glover, a.k.a. Penguin Prison. Great interview we had there. Watch this episode first and then go back and do that. But as always, your hosts, Dante and Jamie Bullhauer, the father and son duo. And we've been doing this for 95 episodes now. So it's a lot of bubblers. Not that I don't consume 6 of them a day. But today we are talking about the challenges and or kind of lessons that we have learned throughout the creative journey. And they are not few and far between. They are plentiful and multiply.
We might have to make sure we only cover a couple because...
Yeah. I won't bring up the fall of 2023 again because that's been, beaten like a dead horse. But yeah, obviously, with an industry, with a creative kind of industry, it's a very abstract industry. It's not just I made an accounting mistake, go fix the math, whatever. There are a lot of different ways that you can struggle, whether it's, we've talked about creative ruts, we've talked about just kind of like the business side of things, exposure. There are a lot of challenges and lessons to be learned through just being a creative, so to speak.
And to a degree, part of talking to you about it is like now that you are almost a veteran. You know what I'm saying? When we started the podcast, you were kind of new. My life hasn't changed much exactly in regards of that, but there's some things, like I just released my new collection of poetry and things like that, and not a single sale. There's a little
still new.
I know,
but it's a week old.
It is hard. I get the hardest adjustment for indie or self-published people, and we've mentioned it before because we've had how to promote yourself. Is like if you're doing this yourself, it's hard. It's hard, and I only have I do have a Goodreads giveaway coming up it starts on Monday, but I don't have the time. I could pay, like that, but I don't really have the finances to do that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're starting out in this, or you're being an indie author or whatever, and you're going to do it yourself, it's a huge adjustment. Takes a lot of time. I wanted the new collection out before Christmas, so over Thanksgiving break, to a degree, I still did family things, but yet I was just really trying to get that together. So the hardest, it's a hard lesson, and I know it. I've done I think this is my 12th book, but it still hits. It's just like, okay, crap, now what else can I do for that? So I don't know. That's my first big one. Is it's an adjustment, and your ego takes a hit. When not even a single fan, like nothing. There's nothing. Not even a Kindle Unlimited read. Yeah.
I don't pay for any marketing or any Facebook ads or any of that stuff. I don't grow near as fast as some other kind of people that I follow on Instagram for whatever reason. And they're younger than me, whether it's they like work for the Huskers or just found a different niche that, grows faster than mine does. It is hard to market yourself, especially because when you look into the void of social media, you don't specifically know where to market to or how to, unless you take like a college class, you don't know how to get yourself out there. And that's where I just started posting stuff and I don't know what hashtags to use. I use Nebraska photographer and senior photos. Those are the only hashtags I use. And I don't think they really do much or whatever. But I just post stuff, and sometimes it hits really good. Like my Celebration of Lights video has over 15,000 plays. I made $2 on that on just Facebook. But it's like, why does that get so much more coverage than this really cool senior photo set or hype video or whatever. Like it feels very arbitrary what gets play and what doesn't, and it's hard to know like where to pivot, when to pivot, what your caption should look like. I don't know. I struggle with that, but I have built up just kind of a following because I am directly impacting like a senior. Like they'll repost that because it directly impacts them. Where your work doesn't necessarily, it's not targeted at Brendan from Osceola or whatever. One of the things that I have really kind of just learned is creativity is a very time-consuming thing to execute, and the time constraints that you have, and again, I speak about a lot of this through kind of like the business side with, deadlines, things like that, but the time constraint of like wanting to be creative but also needing to get a product out there is like you do with your challenges and different like publishing deadlines to submit things. That is something that I have learned just throughout the years. And I go back to this quote, like Peter McKinnon, shocker. Done is better than perfect. There are a lot of projects that I am proud of and they're up to my standard, but I know there's food left on the table. And just having to just kind of cut the cord and be like, just export it, deliver it, it's fine. It has been something that I still struggle with because I really want to be creative and I want to just get stuff, like I want to tap into my creativity, but when I have 35 hype videos to do in a week, I just can't put all my creativity into one video. I have to just kind of siphon it off, so to speak. And so the time constraint of wanting to exercise your creativity, which like when you're in the flow state, it could be like just 6 hours of I feel really creative, having to cut the cord for individual projects because you have to keep going and keep producing stuff has been a big lesson. Like I used to be starting out later on deadlines than I would like to be because I just wanted to keep adding. And I have friends that do like are to the nth degree of that, where they just keep going and never publish anything. And it's like, that's nothing. Like that creativity doesn't mean anything if it never, like we talked about, never gets seen by anybody. So the time constraint of wanting to be creative, but just not having time to fully exercise that is one of the things that I've learned.
Yeah, well, and you got a whole kind of different schedule because it would be nice if sometimes the teams or stuff would schedule a little ahead of time.
A little bit.
But, it's a kind of a real life. You have to deal with what other people schedule and what their organization is like and, things along that line. So you really do get affected by other people's organization and their procrastination or whatever.
I shot a hype video in Omaha the night before they had their first game.
Yep.
And I'm like, I live 2.5 hours away. I'm not getting home until 11. It's probably not getting done. I know you want it to, but it's probably
it's just like, but that's well, even on my end, the aspect of people buying a book that's just released. Yes, I did want it before Christmas, hoping, but probably not, and it's maybe the hardest adjustment aspect is actually dealing, to a degree with once, as even from the interview, Chris goes, once you make that, then the art is out, and you really don't, we talked about it too, we don't really have control of stuff, it's kind of I've been really, I guess, the other aspect of a thing I'm trying to adjust to, but it irritates me, like Rick Rubin talking about that the audience doesn't matter and stuff, and like making art for yourself, God, it just bothers me to do that. Like that's an adjustment. I don't know if I'm adjusting to that. I just so strongly maybe disagree because of what I want out of my art. what I hope comes from it. I don't totally like it's not just for me. I am actually purposely, trying to make, that connection. I don't know. That's one of the weird adjustments that but I watch your sisters. They've been writing stories and doing, and they're just like
very much for just them.
And they're just for them. They're like, hey, read the. And they don't care. And I'm like, I don't know what that feels like. Yes, I do write, but it's still. I'm wanting that bridge to be there. So for when anybody reads it, they connect, I guess, or don't feel alone, or something. I don't know. It's a weird adjustment type of thing, but it's just something, because on Instagram, all my feeds are about inspiration, and he's on there a lot about no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
And you're the opposite, though. You don't get to create for yourself.
Like, ever. Only when there's northern lights do I ever go out and take the camera. It's like, this is once in a lifetime.
And that's because I texted something and woke you up, or...
Well, I was in bed, just like scrolling on my phone, and I saw that text. I'm like, oh, there's northern lights out tonight? I went out, and they were incredible. I'm like, okay, wow. I don't necessarily, it's not for validation of your art, but there is that, just kind of connection aspect that is important. And I don't know if it's maybe just personalities or what, Gianna Kale, they don't care if people see or don't see that. That's not why they're making it. And I just don't, I can't tap into that either because I want people to either feel what I felt taking that photo or appreciate this cool landscape or video or whatever. Like that Osceola Heights video I was really proud of. If that only got seen by the coach and the players, it'd be like, I want more people to see this and just view it and like it, dislike, whatever. Just have that memory, watch that video, and I don't know what goes through their heads when it's just I'm just gonna draw this really cool stop motion animation thing and then nobody sees it.
Yeah. And there that aspect now I can't remember what book I was reading it about but they had went to a book fair and they were kind of amazed how a lot of the authors were just like, yeah, I sold 2 books and just awesome. They were and I get very happy, I would be too, but they're just I just wanted to make this book and I decided to put it out there. I don't know that. I don't know that feeling to create that way in a sense. I'm always kind of thinking, and I don't know, it's a weird, don't know if I'll ever be that artist, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing I've kind of just learned throughout the years is complacency is one of your biggest enemies. And I feel like I always just kind of feel this during hype video season because I churn out so many in a short amount of time. It's the same with senior season. I feel like I'm complacent in the sense of I know this will look good. I don't need to try anything new because I don't have time. And like we talked about with other people's just kind of time constraints, whatever, a lot of times I get the coaches want to get it done and over with as fast as possible. I'm like, the Osceola video, I was there from 1:30 in the afternoon until 9 p.m. So I had 7.5 hours to fit, and I know there was a lot of stuff that wasn't basketball related technically in that, but I had 7.5 hours to really be creative, whatever. A lot of these coaches were like, can we get it done in 20 minutes? And so I feel the time constraint part, but then I feel okay, there's this new thing I want to try, but I don't have time, and I feel complacent instead of just asking, can I get 10 more minutes? Can I do this? I just go to the standard of the 2 light bars, the poses I do, whatever. And that is something that I really struggle with, is just having that complacency factor of oh, it's good enough, and not pushing myself all the time. Go try this thing, go do this thing. like for the AC Boys hype video, I took him outside in front of the sign because I really wanted to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And Foster wanted it to be done in like 15 minutes. And it took more than 15 minutes to just get the inside part done. I'm like, can you give me like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Just go outside, it'll be real quick. And that one really filled up the creative bucket just because I wanted to do that and I knew it would look good. And two, I think it made the video really cool. Like I got a lot of positive reviews like about that from just because I was at the game on Friday. And that is something that I need to fight more of just, I could have just been like, well, we've already gone over the time. I got what I needed, whatever, put the video out. And that is something that I've had to fight harder and harder with a bigger volume. Got dog hair in my mouth. With a bigger volume of work is just, it's a lot easier to just say, oh, it's good enough, send it. It's good enough, send it.
But you got such a, like, what I loved is you brought back the sparkle, the
steel wool.
The steel wool.
I had one left. I'm like, this would be really cool to do.
Well, and the O. Like,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
like, but, and even not that, maybe the new stuff, but to the degree of tap into some of the things that were before, because they're kind of new. It's like that idea of what was old.
I haven't done that in years.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I
years.
just like, and the player, you could tell he's just like, his face just like,
And then he goes, that was sick. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know, and I just, that aspect of pushing or tapping in and being courageous, we talked about it with Chris last week, though, as he was talking about his money song, and like just getting in to that component. And as I was putting my collection together, there were some poems I'm like, oh, because I actually did a second manuscript and entered it for publication contest. Like, first prize actually gets an official book contract. So I was like doing 2 manuscripts, and so but thinking about that, I was like, oh, you know, because I've got some spoken word ones that are, and I was just, do I do that, or do I do what I think
Would be received.
would be received, you know? And but which one is authentically me? But you got, again, the time. Maybe time is the biggest thing.
Yeah, maybe we just need more time to do everything.
Is the biggest adjustment, you know, in that regard, because, yeah, it's different. You know, I wanted it. I set my own time and got it done. You know, but your creativity cost something. You know, I still enjoyed family. I was still, you know, but there was times where I was just like in the chair and just working on it, and, you know,
So, clerical question. 2 manuscripts is just different.
So
order.
I did a manuscript, or I put together the new collection, Life in Poetic Form. Got that finalized. And then I was also thinking that one had to be perfect because you put that up front, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I had another manuscript that needed to be done by the end of this month, but I was like, I want to get it submitted. I guess early. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want it to be the last, like this huge. I wanted them to get it before the due date so that they could, you know.
So if you have just like one less poem or one more poem in that, does that count as a different manuscript? Or like how different do they have to be?
Oh, they're totally 2 different ones. They're totally 2 different. So I had to acknowledge there's one poem in the contest when I submitted that I self-published with Sebastian in there, so I had to acknowledge that. And they said within the rules, they, you know, because this would be an official. So I said self-published, you know, type of thing. But yeah, they're 2 separate, total different manuscripts. So the one though for the contest, I had that filled like, what do I think? You know, so I don't know. I guess we'll see on that one. That'll not until next year. I think winner is announced in April. So.
Yeah. Do you have another one? I have plenty.
Oh.
Back up your stuff
Yeah.
would be the biggest one, but
The other one, 2 degrees connected, my last one, and I've known it too. Like I know that even friends and even family and stuff like that, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, they're yours. People will help you, but they're not spending their days or time worried about you getting to your goal. You know?
Yeah.
They're not. And they care. It's not that they don't care, but I have to, and again, over Thanksgiving break, I spent some time because that's what I wanted to do. And everybody was kind of cool. They kind of knew that, especially like mom, and you have to chisel out. You have to grind. You got to do it yourself. People will help. People do care, but they're not spending their days worried about your goals. And it's a hard adjustment, especially because you like. But the creative, I think we touched on that too. The creative aspect and stuff is very lonely.
Isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of to tie it into a mental health side on the same vein. When I ask people that check up on me, whatever, it'll happen occasionally, whatever. But everybody has their own lives that they are fully consumed with, and everybody's the main character of their own lives. It is very hard to spend a lot of time thinking about other people, just in general, because life is busy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Everybody's stressed and got just their own thing going on, and so you are the one that has to decide what your goals are and what you need to do to achieve them, and if you're going to do that. And yeah, creativity is really isolating because one, I think it's hard to just articulate. Jeez, I cannot get this hair out. It's hard to articulate a creative idea until the final product, basically. So that's kind of hard to communicate with people. And two, it just is it's just all in your own head. So it's not as collaborative as I think people might think it is. It's just, I have this idea. Let's execute it. I don't know how to communicate to Jay-Z, the Osceola coach, what I'm thinking. He just trusts me to get it done.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to bring people into that kind of creative circle with that because one, they got a lot of stuff going on. Two, it's not a very easy to understand industry or place to be in creative mindset. Yeah,
especially poetry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would be no help with that. I can do a haiku, and that's about it. 575. The last thing that I have learned or just kind of grown in, and I've been doing this this will be year 5, which 90% of small businesses don't last 5 years. So this is a big year for me. But you can't please everybody. And I think for the most part, my work is kind of well received, whatever. But there are it's just impossible to please everybody. And there will be some people that are just unhappy with your product, or some people unhappy with your workflow or whatever. That's something that I struggle with because I want every client. I want everybody to like what I do, whatever. I don't get every high school in Nebraska asking me for a hype video. I don't get every coach from the schools that I do hype videos for to do hype videos. And that's something that early on I struggled with a lot more. I still struggle with it a little bit, but the fact that they want to hire somebody at so I did the York boys basketball hype video. The girls head coach hired somebody else. I'm like, well, what's wrong? You've never worked with me before. What's wrong with me? And that's just something that I am friends with the guy that did it. And it's just hard he was like, yeah, we just didn't really want to do the thing that I liked, my light bar kind of style.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you just kind of have to adjust to. And we talk about it all the time. Creativity is very subjective, and not everybody's going to like what you do or like your style or like your brand, whatever. And that's okay. I mean, you just kind of have to accept that. And there's I really wished I would have got the York video, because then I could have done both girls and boys. But there are just some moments where I struggle with it more than others, but for the most part, just keep your head down. Like positive feedback, negative feedback, you can consume both, but don't let any like look at it, don't stare at it. And that's something that I have just kind of tried to learn. I mean, I get more negative feedback than I used to. Just again, my volume is a lot bigger. But not everybody's gonna like what you do, and that's just kind of it. Just is what it is. When I was on Fiverr doing work, my first review was a 1-star review, and I was like distraught. So I'm like, I thought this was good, and they were mad. They demanded the refund, whatever, and that was like really hurtful to me. But now it's just kind of like, it's fine. Just like if they don't like it, they don't like it. They don't have to hire you next year, whatever.
Yep.
Just get on with it and get on with life.
Yeah, I actually just got a 1-star review for While Death Waits, and it's been out for 2 years. Just fine, you do, and it's interesting because like Goodreads has this message that so you got a bad review, like it knows, like do not comment, like it just, but you do kind of like what, why. But again, especially poetry or any creativity, yes, not everybody's gonna like everything in that regard. And though sometimes it's just weird, like that book's been out for 2 years and just got it like last week, and like,
yo, thanks.
yeah,
Cool.
but they read it, so like in that sense, and maybe they gave their copy to somebody who thought, who knows? You don't know. Like I shared with Chris, he had no idea about me and Mr. Monitor and that song, Holy Mode. You don't know. You don't know what somebody thinks or does. And we had that podcast episode a couple weeks ago, but yeah, we're not in control.
Nope, we're not. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of creativity. Yeah. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you can dodge some of these lessons, learn them early through this podcast. But yeah, as always, thanks for listening. Again, go check out our super cool interview with Chris Glover, Penguin Prison, from a couple weeks ago. If you haven't already, super cool guy. It was fun to interview him. But yeah, thanks as always for listening, watching. We're on all the platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.